Long ago, in a small and quiet village, there lived a young milkmaid named Leela. She was a kind and hard-working girl, no more than 16 years old. Every morning before the sun rose, she would wake up to the sound of roosters crowing. The air was cool and fresh, and the sky slowly changed from dark blue to light orange as dawn approached. Leela loved mornings, even though they meant hard work, because they gave her hope for a better day. Leela lived with her mother in a tiny hut made of clay and straw. Her father had passed away when she was very small, so the two women had to depend on one cow for their daily living. The cow, named Gauri, was gentle and gave good milk. Without Gauri, life would have been very difficult, because selling milk was their only way to earn money. Every morning, Leela cleaned the shed, fed the cow with green grass and water, and then carefully milked her. She was gentle with her hands, whispering soft words to Gauri, as if the cow were her best friend. Sometimes she would say, "Good morning, Gauri. Give us enough milk today, so we can have food and maybe even a little money left." The cow would look at her with calm eyes, chew slowly, and allow the milk to flow. After collecting the milk, Leela would pour it into a large clay jug. The jug was heavy when full, but she was used to balancing it on her head. She tied a small cloth around her hair so the jug would sit firmly without slipping. Then she would cover the jug with a lid to keep the milk fresh and clean. The village where Leela lived was small but beautiful. There were narrow paths made of dust, lined with trees and small houses. In the mornings, people came out of their homes to sweep their courtyards, light small fires to cook breakfast, and fetch water from the village well. Leela would often greet her neighbors with a smile as she passed by. "Good morning, Leela," an old woman might say. "Good morning, Auntie. May your day be full of blessings," Leela would reply politely. Everyone in the village knew her as the cheerful milkmaid. She was poor, but she never complained. She worked hard, trusted God, and dreamed of a better life. Though life was simple, it was not easy. Sometimes the cow gave less milk, and then there was not enough money to buy food. Still, Leela never lost hope. On one bright morning, after milking Gauri, she prepared to go to the market. She placed the heavy jug on her head, adjusted her scarf, and stepped out of the hut. The sun was just rising above the fields, and the world looked golden and fresh. Leela felt a spark of excitement in her heart, not knowing that this journey would bring her a lesson she would remember forever. The path to the market was long, but Leela enjoyed walking it. The market town was about 3 miles away, and the road passed through green fields, shady trees, and a small stream that sparkled in the morning sun. She walked barefoot, her anklets making a soft, jingling sound as she stepped on the dusty path. The jug of milk on her head was heavy, but Leela had balanced such loads many times before. She held her back straight, her steps light, and her eyes bright. As she walked, she hummed a little tune her mother used to sing, a sweet melody that kept her spirits high. Birds chirped in the trees, and butterflies danced above the flowers. Farmers were already busy in their fields, bending low to cut grass or guiding their bullocks as they plowed the land. Whenever Leela passed by, they would look up and greet her. "Going to the market again, Leela?" one farmer asked with a smile. "Yes, Uncle. I hope I get a good price for today's milk," she answered cheerfully. "You will," the farmer said. "Everyone knows your milk is fresh and pure." His kind words gave Leela courage. She walked on with a light heart. After a while, she came to the village well, where women were filling their pots with water. They were chatting and laughing, their colorful clothes bright against the dull brown ground. When they saw Leela, one of them called out, "Leela, will you sell us some milk today?" Leela shook her head politely. "Not today, sisters. I have to take it to the market. The money will help me buy grain and oil for the house." "Very well," they replied, wishing her luck. Leela continued her journey. The sun was now higher, shining warmly on her back. The smell of earth, grass, and flowers filled the air. A light breeze blew, making the leaves whisper like friends sharing secrets. Leela felt happy as she walked. She soon reached the small stream. The water was clear, and tiny fish swam quickly from one stone to another. Lila stopped for a moment, bent down, and splashed some cool water on her face. She felt refreshed and ready to walk the remaining distance. The road after the stream was busier. People from nearby villages were also on their way to the market. Some carried baskets of vegetables, others had bundles of firewood, and a few drove carts pulled by bullocks loaded with goods. Everyone had something to sell or buy. Lila felt proud to be one of them. Though she only had a jug of milk, she believed it was the start of something bigger. She dreamed that one day she would have many cows and goats, and perhaps even her own stall in the market. As the market town came into view in the distance, Lila's heart beat faster. She began to imagine all the wonderful things she would do with the money from the milk. Little did she know, her imagination was about to take her on a journey far greater than the road to the market. As Lila walked toward the market, the jug of milk balanced neatly on her head. Her mind began to wander. The steady rhythm of her steps, the warmth of the sun, and the gentle hum of nature made her thoughts grow brighter and wider. She smiled to herself and whispered, "When I sell this milk, I will get good money. With that money, I can do many things." Her imagination quickly carried her away. "First, I will buy 100 little chicks," she thought. In her mind's eye, she saw them, tiny, fluffy balls of yellow running around her backyard, pecking at grains and making soft chirping sounds. She imagined herself spreading feed, watching them grow strong and healthy. "When they are grown, I will take them to the market and sell them. Everyone will want my fine chickens." She laughed softly, picturing herself surrounded by customers eager to buy her birds. "I will earn so much money from them." Her dreams did not stop there. "After selling the chickens, I will buy 2 young goats. They will eat the green grass near the stream and grow fat and healthy. When they are big, I can sell them at an even higher price." Lila imagined leading 2 goats with shiny coats through the marketplace. People would admire them, and she would smile proudly as she sold them for a handsome sum. Her eyes sparkled as her thoughts grew even bigger. "With that money, I will buy another cow. She will give me milk, just like Gauri. Then I will have 2 cows. More milk means more jugs to sell, and more jugs to sell means more money." She pictured herself walking to the market not with 1 jug, but with many, perhaps even riding a small cart filled with milk pots. The market people would see her coming and say, "Here comes Lila, the rich milkmaid." Her heart beat faster as her dreams climbed higher. "After that, I will buy a piece of land. On that land, I will build a bigger house for Mother and me. It will have a strong roof, wide windows, and a clean yard. Mother will not have to worry about the rain leaking through the roof anymore." She imagined her mother sitting happily on the porch of a fine house, smiling with peace in her eyes. The thought filled Lila with joy. Lila's steps grew lighter and quicker as her dreams grew bigger. She was no longer thinking about the dusty road or the heavy jug on her head. Her mind was flying high in a world of wealth and success. She whispered happily, "When I am rich, I will wear fine clothes. I'll buy a red silk dress and golden bangles for my arms. Everyone in the market will look at me with respect." In her excitement, she began to walk faster. She skipped once, then twice, forgetting the jug of milk balanced so carefully on her head. The jug wobbled a little, but Lila did not notice. She was still lost in her daydream. "And when I have more cows," she continued aloud, "I will hire people to work for me. They will call me Mistress Lila. I will walk proudly in the village, and no one will dare look down on me. Oh, I can already see it. Such a bright future." She gave a small laugh of delight and hopped playfully like a child. That one careless hop was enough. The heavy jug slipped from its balance. Lila gasped and quickly reached up with her hands, but it was too late. The jug tipped, slid, and fell to the ground with a loud crash. Crack! The clay shattered into pieces. White milk splashed everywhere, flowing over the dust and soaking into the dry earth. For a moment, Lila stood frozen, her mouth open in shock. Her heart thudded in her chest as she stared at the spreading pool of milk. Her beautiful dreams vanished instantly. No chicks, no goats, no new cow, no land, no fine dress. All gone in a second. Lila's eyes filled with tears. She dropped to the ground beside the broken jug and whispered, "Oh no, my milk. All of it is gone." She touched the wet soil with her hands, but nothing could be saved. The milk was lost forever. She sat down and began to cry softly. Why was I so foolish? Why did I skip and jump? I should have been careful. If I had only thought of the jug, not of silly dreams, I would still have my milk. People passing by stopped for a moment. One old man shook his head and said, "Poor girl. She was too busy thinking of tomorrow, and she forgot about today." Another woman sighed and told her, "Child, do not cry. Learn from this mistake. Dreams are good, but do not count your chickens before they are hatched." Lila nodded through her tears. She knew they were right. Her heart ached, not just for the milk, but for the loss of her hopes. She picked up the broken pieces of the jug, placed them by the side of the road, and wiped her face with the corner of her scarf. Slowly, with heavy steps, she turned back toward home. Her journey to the market had ended before it began, and her lesson was written deep in her heart. Lila walked slowly back to her village, her eyes still wet with tears. The road that had felt so bright and full of promise, just an hour ago now, seemed long and empty. Every step reminded her of the heavy jug that was no longer on her head. Instead of humming, she was silent. Instead of skipping, she dragged her feet. When she reached the small stream, she stopped to wash her face. The cool water calmed her, but it also reminded her of the milk that had spilled and disappeared into the ground, just like water slipping between her fingers. She sighed deeply and whispered to herself, "Dreams are sweet, but they must not make us forget reality." As she entered the village, some neighbors noticed her empty hands. One woman asked, "Lila, did you sell the milk so quickly?" Lila lowered her head and said softly, "No, Auntie. I dropped the jug. The milk is gone." The woman looked at her kindly and replied, "Do not be sad, child. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you learn from them." At last, she reached home. Her mother was waiting at the door. She looked surprised to see her daughter return so soon and without the jug. "Lila, what happened?" her mother asked with concern. Tears welled in Lila's eyes again as she explained everything. The dreams about chicks, goats, cows, land, and fine clothes, and then the fall that broke the jug and spilled the milk. Her mother listened patiently. When Lila finished, the old woman placed a gentle hand on her daughter's head and said, "My dear child, your dreams show that you are hopeful and ambitious, and that is good. But remember this, before we build castles in the air, we must build strong walls on the ground. You cannot plan for tomorrow if you lose what you have today." Lila nodded, wiping her tears. "I understand, Mother. I let my imagination carry me away. I forgot about the jug, the milk, and the steps I was taking. From now on, I will be careful. I will dream, yes, but I will also keep my eyes on the road." Her mother smiled. "That is the spirit. Life teaches us lessons in strange ways, but each lesson makes us wiser. Remember this one well. Do not count your chickens before they are hatched." That night, as Lila lay in her small bed, she thought about the day's events. She realized that she had lost only a jug of milk, but she had gained something more precious: wisdom. She promised herself she would work hard, stay patient, and let her dreams grow slowly, step by step, like seeds turning into plants. And though she still hoped to one day buy chicks, goats, and another cow, she now knew that every dream must be built carefully, starting with the reality of today. From that day forward, whenever Lila carried a jug of milk on her head, she walked steadily and kept her thoughts on the road. The memory of the spilled milk reminded her to live wisely in the present while planning for the future. And so, the milkmaid's story became a lesson for everyone in the village. People told it to their children, reminding them, "Do not count your chickens before they are hatched."